Hello and welcome to CTV News Across Canada for Thursday, December 18th. We've got the top local stories from coast to coast, stories that affect you and the country. Thanks for joining us.
A Lamborghini, Rolls-Royce and BMW were part of the display showing off the haul of stolen vehicles retrieved worth more than $25 million.
What started as a local investigation uncovered a network of international reach, shipping stolen vehicles overseas to markets where they sell for double their Canadian value.
Ontario Provincial Police say the criminal organization behind the thefts were sending vehicles to the United Arab Emirates, Syria, Iraq, Turkey, Egypt, Lebanon, and several countries in West Africa.
306 stolen vehicles were recovered, valued at more than $25 million. 20 individuals were arrested for a combined 134 charges.
The investigation began in August 2023 when the OPP say they recovered 4 autos in the GTA. From there, they joined forces with the Canada Border Services Agency, inspecting shipping containers in Halifax, Vancouver, and Montreal, and intercepting stolen vehicles. Then this fall, police executed nearly 24 search warrants across the GTA and Quebec, including at residential and industrial locations, and 13 vehicles.
Evidence revealed a sophisticated criminal network, including registered freight forwarding companies, utilizing fraudulent documentation to facilitate the illegal export of stolen vehicles.
Freight forwarding companies coordinate the shipment of goods, and the OPP says its investigation included targeting owners who knowingly facilitated the export of stolen vehicles and all levels of the criminal network.
Intelligence from FinTrack identified illicit transactions linked to registered businesses, revealing the international scope of this network and its ties to transnational organized crime.
Police also recovered 3 guns, nearly $200,000, as well as equipment used to steal and alter vehicle identification numbers. They say auto theft in Ontario surged from 17,000 stolen vehicles in 2020 to more than 30,000 in 2023. And while it is showing a decline, it's still costing $1 billion in annual insurance claims. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
It just happened really fast.
Zachary Legacy has driven the stretch of Route 7 between Oromocto and St. John more times than he can count. While there are plenty of warnings along the highway, he has never seen a moose in the area until the night of December 5th when he was traveling with his girlfriend Courtney.
We were maybe 10 minutes up the road where the 2-lane ends into the 1 lane. The moose hit and it took off most of the roof, and then it fell onto the hood of the car. And I believe the back legs were kind of hanging off, but the front legs were in, and it was kicking. So I put myself in front of her, so I got some bruises on my arm.
Route 7 is lined with fencing along both sides for most of the highway to keep animals off the road. But according to Legacy, the day before the accident, a car had taken out a section of the fence.
I can't explain the emotions I felt, the panic, almost like I thought she was dead.
The two were rushed to the St. John Regional Hospital. Legacy was quickly cleared after walking away from the crash with minor injuries, but Courtney had suffered a traumatic brain injury and fractures to her jaw.
I was so grateful. I was thanking God. I didn't know what I was going to do with myself if she passed away.
In the days following the accident, Courtney has progressed and has moved from the ICU and is beginning her long road to recovery.
There was a point last night where I was leaning down next to her, and she crawled over as close as she could to me and held my hand and put her face against my hand and just smiled. So I see little glimpses of Courtney coming back, and that brings me a lot of hope and joy.
Following the accident, the community has shown support for the couple. A GoFundMe has raised nearly $15,000. That support and the help from the people who stopped along the highway the night of the accident have overwhelmed Legacy.
Flabbergasted, I guess that's a good word for it, by the amount of people that have shown support.
Support that will be needed as Courtney continues to heal. Ava McCrae, CTV News, St. John.
181 full-time faculty members at Conestoga College were issued layoff notices on Tuesday. The president of their union says they don't deserve it.
They're colleagues. They're professionals. They're dedicated, committed individuals.
Koff says it stings even more that his colleagues got this news just days before Christmas.
Shame. This is the timing, everything. And the method and approach, and there's no opportunity for the members to have a town hall directly with management, senior management, to explain or talk.
He believes financial pressures are to blame.
Because it's simple, it's cheap. They're replacing full-time with a lot of part-time. And it's a simple solution, but it's not the right one.
When asked about the layoffs, Conestoga College said Ontario's college sector is facing unprecedented financial challenges, with international enrollment dropping nearly 80% this year compared to 2023, saying in a statement in part, "To achieve a balanced budget, we must align our resources with the reality that we have lost thousands of international students. Simply put, we no longer require the same complement of faculty, staff, and administrators as in 2024. The college says the changes comply with the collective agreement. The union says its top priority is supporting those impacted.
Remember that you're not alone. We're all in it together.
The college calls the decisions difficult but necessary, saying they have to align their resources to ensure long-term sustainability. The layoffs will be effective March 16th. The Upsu Local will be holding a town hall meeting tomorrow. The union president telling me it's not only to give laid-off colleagues a hug, but to also offer guidance or counseling or financial advice.
6 months after taking over as leader, Pablo Rodriguez told his caucus this afternoon during a virtual meeting that he is resigning as leader. As recently as Friday, Rodriguez was combative and said he wanted to win the next election despite facing a series of controversies in the last few weeks. It began with the dismissal of former parliamentary leader Marwa Rizki, then allegations of cash for votes during his leadership campaign. Then things took another turn when UPAC, the anti-corruption squad, opened a criminal investigation into the Liberals. And just this week, more allegations of reimbursements to people who donated to Rodriguez's leadership campaign. The Journal de Montréal reported that people were reimbursed $500 for their $500 donations at a fundraising event in April. Rodriguez insisted he did nothing wrong, but all of these allegations led to calls for him to step down, and he made that decision today. Of course, a lot of questions remain as this situation continues to develop. Who will become the next leader of the Liberals? What would a leadership race look like? Here's more from former Quebec Liberal Minister Robert Poetti.
They don't have enough time, and you know what? They don't have enough money, because all these things, the campaign, it costs a lot of money, and it's one of the problems now.
Former leadership candidate Charles Milliard issued a statement on social media saying he spoke to Pablo, adding that he made the courageous decision to step down in the interest of the party, but a difficult one on the human front. Milliard goes on to say he is waiting to see what the party does next before making his own decisions. He did say it is time for big changes. Meantime, Marwa Rizki also posting on social media saying she has no intention of becoming leader, and that will not change in the weeks and months ahead. We are expecting to hear from Pablo Rodriguez tomorrow morning at a press conference set for 10:30.
Manraj Man is now the fourth of 5 men accused of attempted murder and kidnapping charges to be released from jail. Man, who was represented by Toronto defense lawyer Peter Thorning, was granted bail by Justice Laura Bird, who told the 31-year-old from Brampton this is as tight a bail as can be fashioned. Bird ordered that Man be under strict conditions, including house arrest with a GPS ankle monitor and 24/7 supervision, telling his 3 sureties they will be the eyes of the justice system in the community. Man's pledged $250,000 release plan is nearly identical to the conditions imposed by Justice Susan Healy on his co-accused Surjit Singh Bains on Monday. The 63-year-old from Woodbridge was bailed out by his sons and wife following a bail review 2 months after Bains was denied bail by a justice of the peace. Their co-accused 30-year-old Baltes Sandhu of Brampton was the first man granted bail on a $250,000 pledge with around-the-clock supervision by 3 sureties. 41-year-old Dwayne Pennant was bailed out by 3 loved ones who pledged $125,000. The only man still behind bars is Gurji Anthony Gorburn. The 51-year-old from Toronto has a lengthy criminal record, according to court documents obtained by CTV News that describe more than a dozen arrests over 25 years. Police said in late September the 5 men were arrested inside an abandoned Orillia gas station, where investigators discovered a Mississauga man bound and brutally beaten following reports of a suspicious vehicle and masked men at the corner of Peter and Colburn Streets. They are all accused of attempted murder, kidnapping, forcible confinement, breaking and entering, and weapons charges. A publication ban prevents any evidence heard in court from being revealed. Mann, Baines, Pennant, and Sandu are scheduled to make their next court appearance in a virtual Orillia courtroom early in the new year. Gorburn from jail in Penetanguishene in a week. The allegations against the accused have not been tested in court. Mike Arslides, CTV News, Barrie.
Yes, I'm one of the people that's received a notice.
For Cathese and Andovel, the year is ending with uncertainty.
Specifically, I have to compete against essentially my teammates for the number of positions that are left.
He's one of about 700 employees at Natural Resources Canada who have received letters like this one as the department looks to cut around 400 jobs. He says some have been told they'll have to compete for a specific number of positions, others that they're immediately impacted or could be.
It's not great because obviously, teammates I work with, like each other and we're all qualified. That's why we're in these jobs. So that's going to be, I think, kind of difficult to see how that process will go out. And I don't think there's a lot of clarity on how some of that stuff will happen yet.
Several of the largest federal departments tell CTV News their employees will be notified in January if their positions are impacted, including Shared Services, Global Affairs, and Statistics Canada. It's all part of the federal government's plan to cut 28,000 jobs and find $60 billion in savings over the next 4 years.
Just imagine you're trying to have a good holiday season and buying gifts for your family, and you just don't know, should you be buying those gifts? They don't know whether or not they'll have a job in the new year. It's really impacting our members.
The government says the positions would be eliminated through job cuts, attrition, and early retirements, an offer Jacques Pinard is planning on taking.
I'm already qualified right now, so there's not really much savings or incentives. It's just that I think I'm planning to maybe give my position to another that needs it.
Dozens of people in other departments have also been notified, but for those at departments like Health Canada and Correctional Services, no dates for any notifications have been announced.
The Police Services Board has adopted a new diversity plan that aims to ensure London Police are reflective of the community they serve.
In the last year, the London Police Service has 25% of sworn officers self-identify from diverse backgrounds. 24% of civilian professionals identify from diverse backgrounds. We are building one of the most diverse executive teams in the country when it comes to police services as well.
However, the current membership of the Police Board does not reflect the diversity of London. The 7-seat civilian oversight body currently has one vacancy following the sudden resignation of Dr. Haley Faulkner. Last month, provincial appointee Mike Wallace was sworn in as the newest member. Police Board Chair Ryan Goss points out that 2 levels of government, the province and city council, are each responsible for appointing certain seats on the board.
All boards, committees should reflect the community in which they serve, 100% yes. Now, when it comes to the Police Service Board, you'll know that there's both the province of Ontario as well as the City of London that appoints to this board. Both bodies don't talk to each other when it comes to appointments sometimes.
It was just back in May when City Council enacted a new policy intended to improve diversity in its selections to the Police Board. The city's new policy reads, quote, "The City of London is committed to recruiting and selecting members to the London Police Services Board that reflect the diversity of the community." The province's website reads, quote, "Provincial appointees reflect the diversity of the people of Ontario and deliver services and decisions in a nonpartisan, professional, ethical, and competent manner." Back in 2019, London's Police Services Board was a model of diversity, including Black, Muslim, and Indigenous members. As the current chair, Goss makes this commitment to Londoners from diverse communities.
We'll stop at nothing to make sure that all voices are heard, that all lived experiences and backgrounds, their views are represented within this room.
In 2017, the Police Board was expanded from 5 to 7 members in order to reflect the growing population and diversity in London. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Joanne Furland has made it her mission to help survivors of intimate partner violence. With the help of her parents, she was able to escape an abusive relationship.
When I left my partner, our bank account was drained, my cell phone was canceled, and my car keys were hidden.
Drawing on her own experience, last year she started up a financial program at Caisse Alliance, assisting other survivors. It's called the Leap into Financial Empowerment or LIFE program.
The top 3 reasons why they stay in these relationships, and the third reason is financial support.
She's working hand in hand with the court system, victim services, and other aid organizations who refer survivors to the program.
They will receive a free private bank account here at the Caisse. It is free for 1 year and it's unlimited, so there's no fees involved.
Caisse Alliance financial planners will create a budget with the survivor to help and push them forward to hopefully one day leave the abusive relationship.
We will not be sending any mail home. We will not be calling them whatsoever. So that way they don't have to fear their partner knowing.
According to Statistics Canada data, a woman in Canada is murdered by their intimate partner every 6 days. And 44% of women and girls above the age of 15 who have been in a relationship have reported some form of abuse.
Shock. I really wasn't aware that it was that big of an issue.
The program recently received a $50,000 grant. It is now expanded to Sturgeon Falls and Mattawa and as far north as Hearst.
I'm the father of 2 young girls. I had every intention to fully support this program from the get-go.
To date, 12 survivors of intimate partner violence have enrolled in LIFE. To Ferland's knowledge, it's the only financial program of its kind in Canada. And she knows the work is making a difference in saving lives.
They're told the entire relationship that they're going to live on the streets or they're not going to make it. When we show them that they can in fact make it.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
An all-hands-on-deck response to threats at Marlborough Public School earlier this month, the second in a matter of days. Investigations that now appear to be caused by a hoax. Windsor Police confirming to CTV News the threats were part of swatting calls.
To know that it is happening, and it did happen to my kids, it's definitely made me want to learn more.
Threats caused unease for parents like Lacey Kresman, whose kids have stayed home since the hold and secure. A rise in swatting incidents, she says, increases the need for more education by schools and law enforcement.
I think it's really important to be transparent with parents right away to let them know what the situation is so they can make the best decision on how to educate themselves and children and where to reach out for support.
The federal government describes swatting as a hoax intending to bring a tactical police response to an unsuspecting victim.
Kids are scared enough without having to have the fear of seeing armed police surrounding their school.
Retired OPP Commissioner Chris Lewis says swatting often targets politicians and celebrities. What's less known is the legal repercussions for those making the call.
In this case, you're looking at criminal charges. You're looking at going to jail. You're looking at not being able to cross the border anymore. You're looking at potential inability to get jobs and maybe attend universities.
Strain also spreads to first responders. President of the Windsor Police Association, Kent Rice, says resources are limited and responding and investigating fake calls takes time.
There's other emergencies going on now from this hoax. We've taken people who legitimately needed police resources and service, and we could be putting them in danger over this.
Preparing for a dangerous incident, Rice says, is already taxing on officers mentally preparing for the worst. With each swatting response, he feels it risks eroding public trust.
They're like, why are you responding like this? We have to ensure everybody's safety. That's our mandate, and it's what we're required to do by law. So until we can verify that it's completely a hoax, we still have to investigate the matter.
Windsor Police did not respond to our request for an interview. However, they did confirm both swatting incidents are under investigation by the Major Crimes Unit.
The Prince Albert Grand Council is calling for answers after a video circulated online of a man in a vulnerable state lying outside in the snow.
People putting this stuff in social media and then to our attention so we can advocate for our vulnerable people and our homeless people and our people that's seeking medical attention and services in the hospital.
The video was posted on Facebook and shows security officers tending to an individual in the snow. CTV reached out to the Facebook account that posted the video to confirm who shot the footage but did not hear back. Police did, however, validate the video. Prince Albert police say shortly before 11 o'clock on December 11th, officers were called to the 2300 block of 10th Avenue West and found an intoxicated man lying in the snow. The police service says it ensured he received medical evaluation. Police say he had been evicted from a property before police got there. Grand Chief Brian Hardlot says the man had been kicked out of Victoria Hospital by security. He wants the Saskatchewan Health Authority to assess the actions of security staff during the incident.
That shouldn't happen in this day and age, especially in the hospital setting. So concerning, so things, we're going to ask for changes. I'm not hoping that the Saskatchewan Health Authority works with us on this one.
The SHA says it has met with the Grand Council, continues to collaborate with police, and is completing an internal review. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
There has been a ban on hunting grizzly bears in Alberta since 2006, but the Minister of Forestry and Parks is considering lifting it following recent bear attacks and close encounters.
We don't want to take anything off the table. I think it would be irresponsible to take all options or not have all options on the table. So we're looking at everything.
Last year, the province introduced a program that allowed the hunting of targeted problem bears, which the minister also hasn't ruled out expanding.
Probably what's most alarming is we're seeing bears where they haven't traditionally been.
But grizzlies have a low reproduction rate, and there are concerns about the impact on the threatened species, with data in some regions more than a decade old.
Because we don't know anything about the populations or where these bears are, we don't know the impact of any kind of hunt.
Kevin Van Tighem, a conservationist, hunter, and author, says there's no proof hunting would decrease human-bear conflict.
The motivation here is not about the public interest. The motivation here is around a special interest. The special interest is people that want to kill bears and are prepared to pay big money to do it.
The minister rejects the notion, as does the Alberta Professional Outfitter Society, which supports lifting the hunting ban.
There would be a very, very limited and restricted number. So it's not at all or in any way an opportunity where people could just go out and annihilate grizzly bears.
Right now, the minister wants everybody to believe that every encounter with a grizzly bear ends in violence.
Sarah El-Maligi with the NDP is calling on Albertans to share their not-so-negative experience with grizzlies and introduce a petition in the legislature urging the minister to reconsider the current grizzly bear conflict program.
There are some very questionable decisions that have been made here with a lack of public consultation and stakeholder engagement.
She also supports a complaint filed with the Ethics Commissioner alleging Lowen's recent hunting and trapping policies benefit outfitting companies, including his family's business. Allegations Lowen has been cleared of in the past.
Our number one concern is the safety of Albertans and the protection of their property.
Terry Fikowski, CTV News, Calgary.